Yeah, Jamie, first of all, I'm happy for Geno.
Talk about it.
I'm so happy for him because he's had such a rare career redemption arc. First 2 years of his career, first-round pick, didn't go well. He went 7 straight years without getting a true chance to be a full-time starter. And then he has this year where he has one of the best stories of the year and one of the best lines of the year.
For the folks you said had written you off, maybe, what do you say to them?
Yeah, they wrote me off. I ain't right back, though. That's the problem. I ain't right back. Let's go.
All right, congratulations, Geno.
Thank you.
Yeah, Geno's still not writing back, but they're writing that check for him, for sure. And so I'm happy for him and his family for however long it lasts.
Yeah.
And so the reality is they are going to look at quarterbacks. This may be a 1 or 2 year deal, but I hope he truly gets a shot to prove that he can be this guy long term. And so honestly, I hope they don't. For me on a personal level, Geno's a South Florida guy. I love to see him succeed. You don't see a lot of black quarterbacks get a second opportunity like this in his spot. And so I want him to succeed and somebody else draft one of these quarterbacks.
Maybe so. And look, the Seahawks famously love draft picks. Maybe they move back and maybe they stick with Geno. But I'm sticking with you. Like, I like Geno Smith. And this story doesn't end this way. It's not supposed to end this way.
Right.
I want to go to more detail. Just the arc of Geno's career. Sensation at West Virginia. Just lighting it up. He is the first football player that I remember LeBron tweeting about.
Right.
I'm like, who is this guy at West Virginia? LeBron's tweeting about him. Gets criticized for his demeanor and his professionalism pre-draft. Shows up for draft night on the first round. He goes there. Doesn't get drafted. Doesn't get it. I believe we have video of it. Doesn't get taken, goes home, comes back the next day, and is there and gets taken directly after Manti Te'o. Jumps into the Jets, starts as a rookie, struggles, injured, including being punched by a teammate over $600. Terrible. New York tabloids everywhere. Coach fired, injured, cut. Signs with Giants, becomes the face of the Eli Manning starting streak being ended. Cut. Signs with Chargers, throws 4 passes. Cut. Signs with Seahawks, throws 5 passes. Stays. Russell Wilson finally leaves. Entire world, including this table, says there's no way the Seahawks entered the season with Geno Smith as their quarterback. They have to make a move. No, they did it. They entered it. He killed it. He wins awards. He wins games. The story doesn't end like this. It's so rare and so unique. I like Geno Smith. I don't know if everybody does. I don't care. He's a good guy and a great story. I hope they stick with him, too. What do you think, Aaron?
I definitely hope they stick with him. I bet you if you was to ask him if he'd go back, if he could change any of it, I bet you he'd say no because his beauty in the struggle, and I feel like he's learned so much during that time to prepare him for his moment when that was his moment. And I think he's just gonna go out there this year and ball and double down on himself and show that, hey, this is really me. I'm that type of player, and you guys can invest in me. So, which they did. So I'm happy, like you said, happy for his family. That's life-changing, so congrats to Geno.
Well, what's crazy about how this season in general went for Geno Smith and the Seahawks was that I did the Seahawks game in Munich, and Pete Carroll told us that up until end of August, like that was actually the one quarterback battle that was tried and true through all of training camp between Drew Lock, who they had traded for with the Broncos, and Geno Smith. Drew Lock gets sick. He gets COVID the final 2 weeks, I think, of preseason, misses the start that was his time to have with the Seahawks. Geno starts, does great. Drew can't get back and practice, get the reps, and that is when it became Geno Smith's time. It was kind of circumstance. It was a coincidence. It was all the things. It was destiny, it feels like then for Geno Smith because he took that job and ran away with it. That team that we saw in Munich was an electric one at that point. They had all these incredible draft picks. Seahawks just crushed last year. If they can run that back again with that number 5 pick, Aaron, I'll pick your brain on this one. Do you think the Seahawks should hold at 5? Because the top 4 teams are insanely quarterback needy. And, like, let's consider the Bears do something where they don't need a quarterback. Because they trade away, one of those teams goes up to get a quarterback. Do you think the Seahawks should hold? Because you watch some of the defensive guys coming out of the combine, like a Will Anderson, like a Kalijah Kancey. Do you think the Seahawks hold there and bolster their defense or trade back because they could use more picks?
I feel like they could trade back. It could still be in the top 10 and get more picks and bring more guys in because there's definitely some capable guys in the mid-rounds as well. So I feel like that's something they should do if they're not going to go quarterback. But if you go quarterback, then probably stay up there in the top 5. But you got Geno, so trust in him. He'll lead you right.
Aaron heard the word Bears, and he scored 3 touchdowns just sitting there. No, but last question,
They should go defensive guy.
Geno was with the Jets and coming out. that was probably before your time. That's probably you're watching like in college and everything, and now here he is, and he's one of the 32 starting quarterbacks. What do you think of the story as one of your peers?
I think it's an amazing story, a great story. Never giving up on yourself, always believing in yourself, because at those times you can get down when other guys, when people, like you said, people are writing you off, you can get down on yourself. It can shake your confidence. So for him to not ever let that affect him, and when he finally got his opportunity, he did the most that he could with it, and he put all the hard work that he's put in it showed.
Mm-hmm.
There's something incredible about having a head coach believe in you in the time that you needed it in life. Like Pete Carroll kind of gave Geno Smith this opportunity. We saw it with Mike McDaniel this year in Miami and Tua Tagovailoa. It just seems like that was the breath that both of those quarterbacks needed, and when it strikes at the right time, it's so incredibly helpful. It's really going to be interesting to see how this.
I say as a player, a lot of times you just need an opportunity.
Yeah.
And like you said, a lot of people may not get that second opportunity. So I'm happy he did get a second opportunity, and then he did his thing with it.
Yeah. Beauty in the struggle. That was a great line.
Beauty in the struggle, yeah. And he beat all those teams this year that had him on their rosters up until that point. It was like the ultimate redemption story. It's awesome.